So here we are, and we are finally getting some news on how we're going to be getting some of our exotics to level 40. For those of you who already heard about this information, I spoke about it a while ago before Warlords of New York was released, because one of the game designers or developers, Nikki Coupens, tweeted and said that if you didn't want to farm for another level 40, just go ahead and wait. They had plans on bringing a system to help you level up your level 40 items. Now, I don't know what this system is going to look like. I don't know what it's going to be, but my guess is if you already own the Eagle Bearer, and I think if you already own the weapon itself and the blueprint, you can level up that blueprint to level 40. What that would entail is probably going to be some activities for you to get your level 40 blueprint, perhaps something that's going to provide space for a lot more activity to do within the game. But largely, I don't necessarily mind that grind, honestly. I would rather do it that way, because today I tried to get in on a raid and it just seemed like we were, running into walls. Sometimes teams don't gel. That's kind of the way it is. And to go in, with all that hassle sometimes for a possibility of, or a huge possibility of not getting the intended or the reward that you want is and can be disappointing. So I'm really excited to see something like this actually come up. And, while I'm at this, we heard that the state of the game was canceled because one of the team members was not feeling very well. Hamish, we want you to get better. Most of us in the community, even though we disagree with you, we like to see your little New Zealandy face. So get better, get well, and come back to the Division 2 so we can continue talking about this game that we have, participated in for so many years. And anyways, as all of that goes, I think it's a reality for us to see that, even our devs are, they're human too, as so are we. And so sometimes it's nice to extend a little bit of grace to, other folk whenever, they may or may not be on the same, I would say, I don't know, maybe we're just in two different worlds, and we are. He's in developer side world, we're in player side world. Anyways, moving on to that brings me to the other aspects of the other exotics. I accidentally, or maybe just out of impatience, I crushed some of my old exotics, but I didn't crush that Eagle Bearer though. Nonetheless, I kept it, and I'm really excited that this is going to be a thing. Now, how would these activities play out? I think that's kind of where I want to hedge my little, excerpt or my little video discussion is, are we going to have a series of activities that we're going to do that are, hidden, or things that we're going to have to find? Is it going to be a matter of doing invaded missions? Is it going to be a matter of, maybe logging in and going to control points to find specific, components or getting more exotic pieces? These are very pertinent questions, because how much time are we going to invest to be able to level up another weapon that we already leveled up before? Because things like the Chatterbox, those were things that you could basically get the parts from opening Hyena boxes. The Nemesis is something where you can farm the invaded bosses and get the specific parts in a specific order. The Dodge City holster, you had to do those control points. You didn't have to take out the bad guy, but as long as you did the control points in the order and got those pieces again, you were able to rebuild your level 40 Dodge City holster. And then, looking at the Liberty, I haven't even taken the time to go around and finish getting all my components. I think I've gotten one, and I need to get the other one. And those were just done by doing regular missions. So I'm hoping that the developers and the designers are slightly, respectful of our time, because that is time and effort that's been put into getting this weapon in the first place. Instead of making us do anything that might seem excessive, I would say that the next best step to go is to perhaps create another exotic that will fill the vacuum of the grind and the hunt that they actually want us to, partake of. I know year one content and the season one content, had already brought a set number of exotics that we would get. So everything that we're getting right now is actually based on the next, few weeks. So after April, I think March was first month of the season. The second month of the season is this month, April. And then hopefully by the end of maybe May or beginning of June, we'll probably be gearing up for season 2. And so maybe we won't get any exotics, maybe any new exotics coming in this season, or maybe we will. But nonetheless, I think it's a matter of just respecting the community's time. The community has gone through so much, and with the way the roles of the exotics are, that's also a concern, because a lot of folks have gotten, exotics from the past, and many of them eventually woke up and found out that their exotics in the past that were level 30 were crap rolls, and when they even upgraded to level 40, they weren't necessarily too happy when they were able to get it to drop. Now, I will say though, my Dodge City holster that I crafted and upgraded, and my Chatterbox, they had decent rolls. I think what's the issue is when they drop from a boss, that's where the rolls are slightly unimpressive. So for the sake of the community and for the sake of those who have, spent time and gotten the Legacy Eagle Bearer, I would appeal to the developers to make it a thing where we're able to get, initially on your initial conversion to a level 40 Eagle Bearer, now you can at least get something that is quite respectable. If you can see from these images here, I have my Chatterbox and I have my Dodge City holster, and the rolls are quite decent. If I had anything close to this in my Eagle Bearer, I think it will be a fair, exchange for waiting about 2 months to be able to get a level 40 Eagle Bearer, having already taken about 2 months to play for one. That's kind of how long it took me, and it was even given to me and gifted to me after I played with a lot of friends and all of that. So these are some of the things that I'm really looking forward to with the next patch. Right now, the game is just at a place where all you're doing as an agent is exploring different ways to play. And I know many folks have probably had enough time with everything going on around the world to do and engage all this content. But if you get to the rut where, there really isn't anything for you to do right now because you've done it all or you've gotten it all, what I would encourage for you to do is just take maybe a few days off, or even start to look at different and viable ways to play. Think about the other possibilities. Take a random brand set that you've always, crushed and trashed, and try to make something out of it. It's like an alchemist or a crazy scientist when you're playing the Division game. You just take Golem Gear and take, something that's on the bottom tier of brand sets and look around and say, what can I do with this? And then start working with it. And I'm very certain that these kinds of experiments will probably take you a couple of weeks to be able to come up with some really unique items that's not been seen in the community. And if you want to share any of your builds, you can go ahead and send me a message on Discord. I've gotten some messages already so far, but I have not been able to follow up. One of them I followed up with, but because of the situation in the world, everything went to tank, and that person was not able to kind of stay in touch with me. And another person sent me a build idea as well, and I haven't been able to even follow up because my head has been all over the place. So it's just going to keep the conversation going, and hopefully I'll get to those and actually showcase your builds when I test it out, and if I see that it's different from something that I've already done before, or something that's different from what other people are building in the community. So let me hear what you think in the comment section. I think this is an interesting topic to discuss. If you're on level 30 and you've not come to the Warlords of New York and all that, I would still encourage you that this is a good opportunity to keep farming for the Eagle Bearer at the raid level 30. If you're level 40 and you still want to keep engaging the raid and you have never gotten the Eagle Bearer, then you still have to keep farming for the Eagle Bearer as well. I think that's where the whole decision lies for you right now as, a new agent in the game. And so that's where you're going to have to kind of have a little bit of a worry. And then looking down the road, I think the raid might be coming as well with TU9. That is my guess. And once that raid comes out, a lot of people are going to move on from this raid. So I would encourage you to, if you get the opportunity to go into the raid, farm for raid keys, dark hour keys, and farm for the materials that you can use to craft those, those gear sets as well that you can get in the raid. I'm hoping that those gear sets, though, the backpack and chest pieces, are brought to the general population very soon. So, we don't have to go into the raid to get everything. But that's just my 2 cents. I'm going to get out of your hair, and I guess I'll talk to you guys, God willing, in the next video. Peace.